Remember the Hindustan Ambassador? The car your granddad probably learned to drive in? Well, rumor has it this old warhorse might be saddling up for a comeback in 2026. The internet, as it does, has gone bonkers. Pictures of a sleek, modern-looking Ambassador are doing the rounds, sending nostalgic Indians into a frenzy. Could this be true? Is the Amby really coming back to reclaim its throne? Frankly, I'm as surprised as you are. The Ambassador, with its legendary suspension and ability to seat a small village, was a common sight on Indian roads for decades. But time, as they say, waits for no man, not even one driving an Amby. Production finally ground to a halt in 2014. The once mighty Ambassador relegated to the scrapyard of history. Or so we thought. Now whispers on the wind suggest a resurrection is in order. It all started with a picture, a single image, sleek and modern, yet with a hint of the old Amby DNA. This, my friends, is where the story takes a turn, because this image, the one that set tongues wagging and hopes soaring, wasn't some top-secret leak from the design studios of Hindustan Motors. No, it was a design student's project, a flight of fancy, shared online and mistaken for the real deal. Don't get me wrong, it's a cracking good design, but it's about as real as a unicorn riding shotgun in a Reliant Robin, which brings us to the heart of the matter. Is there any truth to these rumors? Could the Ambassador actually make a comeback? To answer that, we need to delve into the history books and take a closer look at the car that captured the imagination of a nation. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the Ambassador in the chat room. That viral image, the one that had everyone believing in miracles and cheap taxis again, fake news. It's a classic case of internet hype gone wrong, a design student's project plucked from obscurity and thrust into the limelight. The culprit was a particularly convincing rendering done by a student back in 2022. It resurfaced recently and, well, you know how it goes. Someone shared it with a caption like, "Is this the 2026 Ambassador? OMG," and boom, it was off to the races. Before you could say Morris Oxford, the Amby's ancestor, you see, the internet had declared the Ambassador reborn. Now, look, I appreciate a good car design as much as the next bloke, and this student's work is genuinely impressive. It's got the classic Amby silhouette, but with a modern twist. Sharp lines, aggressive stance, the works. If Hindustan Motors were to launch a new Ambassador, this wouldn't be a bad place to start. But let's be clear, this image is not, I repeat, not an official rendering. Hindustan Motors, or rather Peugeot, who now own the rights to the Ambassador brand, haven't breathed a word about a revival. In fact, they've been conspicuously silent on the entire matter. And that, my friends, speaks volumes. The Hindustan Ambassador. You couldn't drive 10 feet on an Indian road without encountering one of these behemoths. It was the car your grandfather swore by, the car your dad learned to drive in, and the car you probably have fond, if slightly terrifying, memories of riding in. Based on the Morris Oxford Series 3, a car that time itself seems to have forgotten, the Amby first rolled off the production line in 1958. And roll it did for the next 5 decades, virtually unchanged. Talk about sticking to a winning formula, eh? It was as if Hindustan Motors took the phrase, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it," as a personal challenge, but you know what, it worked. The Ambassador became a symbol of India itself. Sturdy, reliable and spacious enough to fit a small family, their luggage and probably a couple of goats in the back. It was the go-to vehicle for politicians, businessmen and families on the move. Then came the 1990s. The Berlin Wall fell, the internet was born, and India decided to open its doors to the world. Suddenly the market was flooded with sleek, modern cars from foreign brands. And the Amby? Well, it started to look, shall we say, a bit long in the tooth. Despite attempts to modernize it, the writing was on the wall. Production finally sputtered to a halt in 2014. Peugeot, in a move that surprised everyone, bought the rights to the Ambassador brand in 2017, and that, it seemed, was the end of an era. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. This is the car industry, after all, where stranger things have happened. But a comeback for the Ambassador would face some serious speed bumps. First, there's the matter of money. Reviving a defunct brand, even one as iconic as the Ambassador, would require a massive investment. You'd need new factories, updated designs, and a marketing campaign that could convince a generation raised on sleek SUVs that what they really want is a reincarnation of their granddad's car. Then there's the question of logistics. The Ambassador, for all its charm, wasn't exactly known for its fuel efficiency or cutting-edge technology. To compete in today's market, it would need a serious overhaul. We're talking hybrid engines, advanced safety features, and enough tech to make a Silicon Valley exec drool. But perhaps the biggest hurdle of all is nostalgia. The Ambassador holds a special place in the hearts of many Indians. It's a symbol of a bygone era, a simpler time. But nostalgia, like a dodgy carburetor, can only take you so far. To succeed, a new Ambassador would need to capture the spirit of the original, while also appealing to a new generation of car buyers. So, will the Ambassador rise again? It's a long shot, to be sure, but hey, this is India. And in India, anything is possible.